You have a special guest with me today, Dr. Randal Pinkett, and he won The Apprentice in 2005. He is an entrepreneur. He is a speaker. He's an author. He's an all-around nice guy, and he's here with us today because we're going to talk about some spiritual wealth tips. Welcome.
Hey, Liz. It's great to be here with you, and I just want to say, on behalf of all your listeners, we just are so thankful for you, and you have been just such a blessing to this area that it's an honor to be a part of your program. But I wanted to say on behalf of the listeners, thank you for being the first lady of urban Christian radio throughout New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut.
Thank you so much, Dr. Randal. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you coming out today. I know you had service and you made your way over here, but you have a heart for the people, and you love what you do. And the minute we spoke, you were like, yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a real blessing to have this opportunity, and we were talking before. You're clearly called to what you do in this role, and to be a blessing to others through radio.
Yes,
and my blessing is as an entrepreneur, but also to give people tips on how they can live a more abundant life and to achieve the spiritual wealth that we'll talk about today.
Well, that is very important. So what I want to start out with, people are shopping.
Yes,
and they may be shopping a little above their means. Yes. Would you say maybe?
Yeah, I would say that is definitely a pattern. That one of the principles I want to talk about is just really keeping everything in perspective. That when you think about spiritual wealth, it's not about feeling wealthy based on the abundance of material possessions. It's about being content with what God has already given you.
Oh my God, can you say it one more time?
Spiritual wealth is not about the abundance of material possessions, but about being content with what God has already given you. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6 says, godliness with contentment is great gain. Operative word being contentment. That when you're content with what God has given you, you don't even have the motivation to spend beyond your means because you are happy with what you have.
Well, let me ask you a question. You're saying if you're content in the things you have, you're not going to go out and buy. But we still say, I see that, I want that, I want that. And then we use the card.
Yes.
Or we take the money out, or the debit is not as wonderful as it should be because we pull everything out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to say we. Folks, how about that?
Indeed.
So how is it? Is it our mindset?
It is a mindset. And some of us wrap our self-worth in our belongings, in our materials. And for us to say, I can't afford that right now, underlying that is a psychology that, well, I'm not good enough to have it if I can't afford it. Something's wrong with me if I can't have the same things that other people have. And we've got to get past that. I read a great article by Alfred Edmond from Black Enterprise where he said the phrase that we must all come to learn and appreciate is the phrase, I can't afford this right now. I can't afford this right now. And disabuse the idea that you deserve certain things or the negative thoughts that I'm not good enough if I can't afford it, and delay gratification. One of the overriding principles of the wealthy is that they are willing to delay gratification to invest now to get what they need later, to get what they want later. So it's a timeless principle.
That is some serious nuggets that you gave us right there. Because we say, well, and I don't want to keep saying we, but I'm speaking for everybody else maybe. What happens is you get in a store and you like that and you say, you know what, I can't afford that right now, but I'm still gonna buy it anyway.
Yeah. And part of what got us into this financial disaster that we're living in is that people were living beyond their means. They were giving house mortgages that they couldn't afford. They were buying cars that they couldn't make the payments for, and then the bottom fell out. And so this economy is a wake-up call to America, and to Christians it's a wake-up call to us that there are biblical principles that tell us that we are supposed to be content with what God gives us. And this idea that I got to keep up with the Joneses, I got to look at what my neighbor's doing. Now, God doesn't bless all of us to have everything. He might bless some of us to be entrepreneurs or to be great investors, but some of us are blessed to be teachers or to be, community organizers. And you're not going to become a billionaire as a teacher. So be happy to stay in your lane. Be content with where God wants you to be, where God's placed you, and be content with what God's blessed you with.
You know, I pray that there are some young people that are listening to you right now, because we have to start them young in that mindset, because what I see on TV now and what they're trying to wear and what it costs for them to wear these things and buy these things, who can afford to keep them in the luxury that they want to be?
Absolutely. When I was a kid, you know, my mom made it very, very clear. I don't care what the advertisements say. I don't care what the basketball players are wearing. I don't care what you see on TV. I'm going to tell you what you're going to get, and you're going to be happy with it. And we've gotten that twisted, right? That first of all, we believe that we get duped by the advertisements, and we get caught up in this mentality of kind of consumerism. Where we don't think about what we're producing, meaning how we're getting return on our investment. We're content with spending and buying and downloading and purchasing for assets that don't have any appreciation. And you know, the Bible teaches us to store up our treasures in heaven. And so when you convert material wealth into spiritual wealth, you're thinking with a mindset of giving, and how can you give to others that what's been gifted to you, not what you can do for yourself, but what you can do for others. That's what the Bible teaches us.
I love the teaching that's going on right now. Let's go into a song and we'll come back and enjoying the time with you today. And I know that you're enjoying Dr. Randal Pinkett. He is here with us today. He's giving us tips that we can use to help us financially. It's spiritual wealth.
Right, that's right. And do you know what the best day of the year is to shop, Liz? The best day of the year.
Let me think about it.
The best day of the year.
Other than my birthday, Groundhog's Day, President's Day. Okay, when?
The best day of the year to shop, the day you get the best deals, the best prices, is December 26th. Now, people are asking, why is that? Because December 26th, everything that the retailers couldn't sell to you before the holidays is deeply discounted, that they can get rid of it by the end of the year. And so if you have anybody that you were late getting a gift for, you didn't get it for that office colleague, you have a relative get together on Saturday instead of Christmas Day or Friday, go shopping and you will be amazed at the deals that you will get, because the retailers are trying to liquidate that inventory. You can get the best deals.
The day after Christmas, December 26th, that's the day.
And if you go to this website, go to fastmall.com.
Hold on, let me write that down.
Yes, fastmall.com. For those of you who are, cell phone and smartphone enthusiasts, they have an app that you can download to your phone that will give you a layout of every mall in the country and can direct you to where the deals are within that mall. It's crazy.
You better stop it. I got to go right now because I got to put this app in my phone.
That's right. Fastmall.com. Check it out. It's the truth.
I love that.
Yes.
All right, let's do a song. You have more tips for us?
I got more tips
for you.
All
right, so we're going to come back, but I'm going to go into Kurt right now. So we got to keep it moving here at Sunday Praise. If you're just tuning in, I don't know where you've been, but you have missed some wonderful spiritual wealth tips that have been coming forward. And the last one was an app that we need to get, fastmall.com. I'm ready. What else you got for us?
So my next tip is to beat the retailers at their own game. Now, there's two things that retailers are banking on. The first thing they're banking on is that if you're given a gift card, that you are not going to use the card, that you might lose the card, or that you might wait a long time to use that gift card. Now, how does that benefit them? They take the money that somebody gave them for the gift card, they invest it and get a return on that investment.
Right.
The longer you wait to use the gift card, the more money they're making off the money you're about to give them anyway. So the point here is, if you're given a gift card, you want to use that card as quickly as possible to get the value for the card. The second thing they're banking on is that you're going to buy for these extended warranties, which oftentimes makes sense. If you're
like my iPad, I thought that made sense.
It does. For an expensive item that you're going to use for a long time,
yes,
it will give you some security. But there are lots of items that they'll offer you extended warranty on your replacement power cord. They'll offer you
earplugs. I had
on headphones. Exactly.
$15.
You can just tell them absolutely not.
I can buy another pair.
I can buy another pair. And they're banking on that you're going to feel insecure by not buying the extended warranty, or they're going to bank on the fact that it's going to cost the same amount to repair it that you paid for the warranty in the first place. So don't get fooled into buying these extended warranties unless it's an expensive item that you want to have the real security that if it breaks, you can get it repaired.
That was some good stuff right there. So we're going to outsmart them.
We're going to outsmart them. Don't give them your money through those gift cards by having them sit around. Use the gift card ASAP.
Now, isn't it true on some of them, you got to read the fine print, and it's so fine you can't even read it with a magnifying glass. But it says, you know, if you don't use it by a certain time, this amount of money is now taken off the card, like $50 after every.
Right. What they have is they have a reactivation fee. So if somebody paid $100 to give you the gift card, you don't use it in a year, you're going to pay $25 on top of the $100 to have it reactivated. Or some of the cards expire. And if you don't use it in a certain amount of time, you lose the money. In fact, I got a number here. Do you know that $2 billion of money was lost in 2011 from unused or expired gift cards?
Lost?
$2 billion lost in gift cards that were either expired or unused in 2011, and the retailers pocketed all that money.
Now, initially, when those gift cards first came out, there were no restrictions on them.
That's right.
And all of a sudden,
the retailers got smart and said, we're getting free money. And not only is it free, if they don't use the card, it didn't cost us anything. It just sits in our bank account. Don't get fooled, folks. Use those cards right now. Use them right now.
Yeah, and read the fine print if you can.
That's right. Read the fine print. Know what you can and can't do.
Do you have more tips for us?
I got plenty of tips,
Liz. All right. Let me do another song. If you're just tuning in, I don't know what to tell you. You've missed some wonderful tips today. We've got one more. We'll do a recap. I have with me today Dr. Randal Pinkett, and he is the CEO. Did I even talk about all the things that you're doing? You have 3 books.
I got 3 books. I'm the CEO of BCT Partners, headquartered in Newark, New Jersey, just over the water.
Newark in the house.
That's right, Brick City. And I've written 3 books. The latest, Black Faces in White Places, and preceded by No Money Down CEO and Campus CEO, both on entrepreneurship.
Like that.
Indeed.
Now, we didn't even talk about how people can get in touch with, like, what's your website and all. I know you tweet here and there.
Yeah, we've been going back and forth for the past few days. People can reach me at randalpinkett.com, or they can follow me at Randal Pinkett, Randal with 1 L. Or they can just follow Liz Black's tweets for the past 24 hours. We've been going back and forth on Twitter.
We've got one more left?
We got one more left.
All right.
And this last tip is for the next year.
All right, let me put my seatbelt on. Hold it. Okay, I'm ready.
Now, everyone is familiar, hopefully, with the parable of counting the cost, which says from Luke chapter 14, verse 28, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? And the principle I take from the parable is the importance of budgeting. You got to take into account all of the costs that you might incur. And I think the best way to do it, and this might sound a little crazy, but I would suggest that you actually buy a prepaid credit card with the amount that you want to spend. So you actually take the money you have already, buy a prepaid card for $250 and use that card. Go get that card, and that will keep you honest to know exactly what you spent.
I love that tip. That makes
honest.
So much sense, too.
Yes, because when you go in with the credit card, you can get a little willy-nilly with it because it's just an endless open checkbook. But when you get that prepaid credit card, I got news for you. When you spend $250, you have nothing left to spend.
Nothing.
You're done. You are done.
Now, I did that. I know there are 3 things during the month that are, things that I have to take care of, whether it's my hair and nails. I have a card specifically just for that.
So we're on the same page, Liz.
So I can't go
over it. It's right.
Or I'll have to remove something if I feel I need to add something else.
That's exactly right. It's just like anything else in life. You've got to count the cost for what it is you want to do, and that prepaid card will not only keep you honest, but also will give you an account for everything you did, and you can use that for planning for next year's holiday season.
And I'm not going to say that these things are difficult. These are great tips. It's really a mind change for some.
That's right.
Let me tell you, my niece, she's 8 years old. She believed that Black Friday, it was mandatory that you went shopping.
Wow.
She was like, "We have to go, Ma."
See, that's how powerful the advertisers and the retailers are. They've got 8-year-olds believing
mandatory
that's
shopping.
That's what they want. They want you to think that you have to spend. They want you to feel like you got to get 2 for 1. I don't only need 1. Well, then go 2 for 1. I only need 1. So don't believe the hype.
Yeah.
Stick to the budget. Identify how much you can afford that is within your means and discipline yourself. It's a mindset. Discipline is a mindset, and you will go in believing that you can only spend what you got, and the prepaid card can help you do it.
Oh, I love that. Now, promise you'll just stay and give us a recap before we go.
I will definitely hang out.
So we'll come back. I don't know. I'm prepared for my blessing. Dr. Randal, you prepared for your blessing?
I am prepared for my blessing. I hope your listeners are prepared for their blessing.
Well, all these tips that you're giving us, we definitely are prepared for our blessings. You gave us fabulous tips today.
Indeed.
There may be someone who came in late. Church went over a little bit and they missed all the tips. Can you let's have a little recap.
Yes, the recap. So let's just be clear. I started by thanking Liz Black for being a blessing. The first lady of urban Christian radio. We appreciate you. Yes, that's right. That's right.
Thank you.
Indeed. We went into our tips. First was to keep everything in perspective, to know that wealth does not come from an abundance of material possessions, but from being content with what God has already provided for you. We went into some more tactical tips first, or the second tip we gave was to give by the end of the year, so you can take credit for that on your taxes. If it's above $250, make sure you get a receipt. Tip 3 was that the best day to shop of the entire year is December 26th.
Yay.
You can get up to 75% off
Fabulous.
on items. So get out there and get the app fastmall.com to navigate those malls and find the deals. Tip number 4 was to beat the retailers at their own game. Use gift cards as soon as possible. Otherwise, you are lending the retailers free money. And to not opt in for the extended warranty for items that do not need protection. Just say no.
No to pens.
That's right.
And
say
earplugs.
No. That's right. And then 5th and finally was to count the cost. To budget, to spend within your means, and to get a prepaid card with the amount you want to spend so you know exactly what you spent and where you spent it, and you will not go over budget. And last, as Melissa said all day long, it is a mindset, brothers and sisters in Christ. Mm-hmm. It is a mindset of how you can just be wise with your money.
You know what? You have really blessed us today. We're excited to have you. You are an author of 3 books. I maybe another time we'll get into the books, but you talked about one, Black Faces in White Places.
Indeed. Yes, and co-authored with my business partner, Jeffrey Robinson, we wrote a book that brings to light, among many things, how spirituality plays a role not only in the home, but in the workplace. And we interviewed dozens of accomplished African Americans asking, how do you sustain yourself in environments where we are still underrepresented? Black faces in white places. And the answer were these 10 strategies that we offer, and among them was how spirituality plays a central role in sustaining us both at home and in church and on the job.
I'm so happy that you came in.
I'm so happy to be here.
This won't be your last time, right?
No, I got to come back. All
right.
I had too much fun.
All right. As long as you come back, we're going to enjoy having you come back again. Your Twitter account is at Randal, 1L
That's right.
Pinkett.
That's right. Randal Pinkett on Twitter, randalpinkett.com online. And this is Spiritual Wealth, along with the First Lady of Urban Christian Radio, Liz Black. It's been a blessing to be here.
It has been a wonderful time. Thank you so much. I'm going to keep it going.